Well guys, it's the end of 2019. Right around the corner is 2020, which is the year where the next generation of consoles are coming out. The Xbox Series X and PS5 have been announced, and so I kind of wanted to go back and look back on Xbox One and PS4, you know, basically the whole 8th generation of consoles, and just see what are my top 10 games for this generation. Which means, you know, for almost the whole decade, really. I'll be going off every game that came out for those consoles specifically, ever since 2013 when they came out, which was 7 years ago, almost. And I just want to mention real quick before we start that, you know, of course, this is my opinion, you can disagree, and I haven't played every single game that came out, so there's probably one game out there that you really love that I just haven't played, so I can't really put it on my list, you know what I mean? So what I based off this list off, well, I'm not putting any remasters here, because, oh man, just looking at the list of games that came out this generation, I'm like, holy shit, there's more remasters and re-releases than actual games. Like, it's absolutely crazy. Like, I never really realized this, but looking at my Xbox games list, like, more than half the games I have on this console are from the 360. It's absolutely insane. Anyways, it was kind of hard to make this list because I didn't really realize that I've mostly been playing games from older generations for the last decade, you know what I mean? There wasn't that much games that really grasped my attention in this generation, sadly. Some of them did though, and that's why they're gonna be in this video here, and I want to share it with you guys. In case, you know, just like me, you're kind of bored and none of the new releases really attract you all that much. You kind of just go back to the old games all the time. Hopefully this list will maybe show you some new games you could try out that came out this generation before the next one. So anyways, let's get started here. I know some people might hate me for this list because it is a little bit controversial, but at the end of the day, it is my opinion. Even though a lot of people might disagree, you know, it's not the best games that came out. It's the best games I've played that I've enjoyed, you know. So anyways, at the 10th place here, number 10, we have Call of Duty World War II. Now I know what you're thinking. Oh man, this whole list is gonna be Call of Duty. I can just feel it already. No, chill. Alright, it's number 10 because I actually enjoyed COD World War II. I thought the multiplayer was pretty fun. I played a lot of the war mode that was there. It was kind of an objective game mode where, you know, it was like a big map you go through, do objectives. It was a nice little spin on the franchise that I thought was interesting. But yeah, zombies was okay. I mean, it wasn't, you know, all that great. I'm mostly a zombie guy. If you guys don't know, I mostly play COD for the zombies. But I mean, World War II had some decent maps. You know, I played it a fair bit, but you know, it wasn't anything special really. It was very generic and kind of boring at times, and way too fucking easy, let me tell you. But yeah, campaign was alright too. I mean, I played it. It was good. I made it all the way through. It was a great campaign, you know. I enjoyed it. So yeah, number 10. So at number 9 spot, it might be a bit weird for me to say this, but Dead Rising 3 actually makes the list here as one of the best games of this generation, even though it's like one of the very first games that came out. I mean, it was a launch title for the Xbox One, for fuck's sakes. So you might be wondering, really, Lollipop, there isn't any other games that came out after that was better? I mean, yes, that's why it's number 9 and not number 1, but Dead Rising 3 truly was great. I really enjoyed it. I don't know. I remember being so hyped about it, and back when the Xbox One came out, I didn't own it. I still had the 360 for until 2015, I think. So sometimes, you know, I'd just go to my friend's house or they would come to my house and we would just pop in Dead Rising 3 and, you know, just, it was great having this whole open world thing. Now, I am a big fan of the first and second game of Dead Rising, and I know a lot of people did not like the third game because of all the changes they made, and I understand that. I can definitely see why some people didn't like it, but I thought it worked pretty well. You know, it's not as bad as Dead Rising 4, that's for damn sure, but I thought Dead Rising 3 innovated in some great places. Of course, it's not the greatest game of all time. I definitely wouldn't put it in my favorite games list or whatever, but for this generation, it's definitely one of the games that I've played through it, the whole thing, and I really enjoyed it. So there you go, makes the list. So number 8 we have, and I'm kind of surprised myself of putting this here, but Fallout 4 actually is the number 8 spot, and yeah, I'm surprised. I mean, I didn't finish it. I never finished the main quest. So that's why I'm like hesitant to put it on here, but at the same time, it is one of the games that I've played the most and enjoyed the most this generation. You know, playing on survival mode and just doing all these side quests and just exploring the world and role-playing, you know. It was a lot of fun. Is it the best game that with the best graphics and the best, you know, the best specs for this generation? Not at all. Not at all. This game is a fucking mess. Loading screens take forever, graphics are shit, story is boring. But at the end of the day, it had something special. The open world, you know, just traveling around. Now, I never played the DLCs or anything like that, but Fallout 4 as a whole was a very solid game, in my opinion. It had some problems, but I think it holds up, you know, it's still a fun game. I think mostly everyone played it and enjoyed it to some extent. Now, the reason it's number 8 is because I never finished it, because, you know, if I didn't finish the game, then there's something wrong with it. You know what I'm saying? Like, if the game was so good, I would have finished it. So yeah, it's not higher than this on this list, but it is one of the games that I've played the most, and so I think it deserves a place on this list. So yeah, there you go, Fallout 4. On the number 7 spot, we have Life is Strange Before the Storm. And I know for some of you that might be a bit surprising, like, really? A story game is one of your best games of this generation? I'm like, yeah. Look, I love Life is Strange. You guys probably know this if you've watched me before, but while the original game wasn't on this generation of consoles, well, I played on a 360 anyway, so I didn't feel like it would count, but I actually prefer Before the Storm better, so it works out anyways. I think Life is Strange Before the Storm truly is something special to experience, and yeah, it is a story game, so it is kind of just like a fucking TV show or whatever, but it is a great game. I really enjoy it. It resonates with me in many ways, and if you're into that type of game, I think you should definitely give it a try. It's not for everybody. It definitely cheesy in some parts, but if you can look through that, I think there's a great experience here to be had. So definitely check it out. Now at number 6 spot, and you guys might think that's a bit weird, but I put Call of Duty Black Ops 4. Now, I know I've been shitting a lot on the game, and a lot of people are shitting on it, and everyone's saying it's the worst game, but at the end of the day, I have to be 100% with you guys, and it's still one of my most played games of this whole generation. I still play it almost daily. You know, I still stream it all the time. I still enjoy it. It's not bad. And ever since they did all the updates to fix it, ever since they changed the black market and the microtransactions to where you can actually earn shit, it's a lot more enjoyable than it used to be. Now, I'm mostly here for the zombies. I couldn't care at all for multiplayer or the battle royale. I really don't give a shit about those modes. Zombies is what makes this list, basically. If you could just put the zombie portion on here, that's what makes the list. Now, is it the best Call of Duty Zombies game? Not at all. Not at all. It's just so convenient. You know, all my friends are playing it. Nobody wants to go back to the old ones. You know, the gameplay is a lot smoother than the older games, so it's just more convenient to play. But at the end of the day, it is Call of Duty Zombies, and I love this game mode. And you know, I still play Black Ops 4, even though it's not the best one. I think it deserves to make the list because my playtime on this game is absolutely insane, even though I kind of hate it. It's a love-hate relationship, you know what I mean? But it still deserves the spot because at the end of the day, well, it is one of the games I enjoyed the most this generation. So, you know, number 6. Now, as number 5, I put Rise of the Tomb Raider, which is one of the first games I played on my Xbox One, actually. When I bought it, it came with it. And I just remember during summertime, I had no internet, I couldn't play online, and I decided, fuck it, let's just play through this game. You know, single player game. I hadn't played a single player game in a long time, and I just loved it. You know, I played it for like a week straight. I did every single, not achievements, but I mean 100% of the game. You know, every single collectible and stuff like that. Looking up guides to check out achievements and stuff. I got the season pass later on sale. So really, I must have paid like $7 in total for this whole game. And let me tell you, for $7, this game is fucking amazing. Now, full price, I don't know if I would feel the same way about the game, because, you know, at the end of the day, it's a single player game with a season pass, which I don't really agree with. But anyways, yeah, I don't know. It's a great game. If you love the first Tomb Raider on the 360, you're gonna love this one. You know, if you like the gameplay loop, it's a bit more open world, a bit more collectibles to get, but they're fun. Like, collectibles in games usually I hate, but in this game they're really fun to get because you explore parts of the map that you wouldn't have otherwise if you wouldn't be looking for those. They're very rewarding to get. You know, they're kind of like side quests, really. You go in a cave you never even knew was there. You have to figure out how to go there, how to get in, how to get out. It's fun. I mean, the game is Tomb Raider. You explore tombs, that's what it is, and I don't know, I liked it. Now the story is kind of shit, not gonna lie, but the gameplay, the graphics are incredible. So, you know, it's one of my best games, and I've played Shadow of the Tomb Raider, which is the game that came out after this. You know, it's kind of just more of the same, a little bit of downgrades in the graphics, I noticed, and, you know, I still enjoy Shadow, but I have yet to finish it, which, you know, tells a lot if I love Rise that much and I haven't finished Shadow yet. Like, I don't hate Shadow, it's a great game, and I'll finish it eventually, but, you know, it's more Tomb Raider, so really, I would recommend Rise of the Tomb Raider if you've played the original for this generation. Definitely one of my best games. Now in the number 4 spot we have Resident Evil 2, the remake that came out this year actually. Now I know I said no remasters and no re-releases, but I don't really consider this game to be a remaster. I mean, it's an entirely new game. It's completely different. Now I know it's based on the same locations and characters, but hey, I never played the original, and for me this felt like a totally new Resident Evil game entirely. And I loved it. I loved it. I bought it, you know, full price, pre-ordered, you know, and I don't regret it at all. It's a great game. I've replayed it recently with the announcement of Resident Evil 3, which I'm very excited for, and I don't know, man, Resident Evil 2 is just one of these games that if you've played the original, you're gonna love it. If you haven't played the original, you're gonna love it too. It doesn't matter. Like, it's not for it's good for old players and new players as well. It does things so well. The story is amazing. The graphics are great. If I had one bad thing to say about it, is that the voice acting can be kind of bad at times. But other than that, I mean, it's not easy for me to get scared in a video games, and that game definitely succeeded at jump scaring me a shit ton. And just the atmosphere, walking down the hallway with your flashlight, shitting your pants the whole time, it was great. If I wouldn't have been streaming the first time I played this, I probably would have shit my pants, not gonna lie. My chat was cheering me up, because, yeah, it was spooky. The only thing I could say, though, is once you've played through it and you know where to go and what to do, it kind of loses a little bit of this, you know, first playthrough magic. And I guess that is true for every single game you play, but for this game, it's a bit more of that, because it's a lot of puzzles, you know, the whole game revolves around you figuring out where to go and what to do. And if you already know these things, you know, it kind of takes away a little bit, but that's just my opinion anyways. But it's fun also to master it, you know, and try to beat it as fast as possible and stuff like that. Give yourself challenges, which is definitely something that is a lot of fun to do. So yeah, Resident Evil 2, definitely one you should grab. Now in number 3 spot we have A Plague Tale: Innocence. And that one, it's kind of a surprise to me, really. Because I don't really like sneak games. I don't really like sneaking around. Like, I was never a fan of Metal Gear or anything like that. I mean, I like Splinter Cell to some extent, but I was very bad at it. If you guys ever watch my streams, you know how shit I am at being sneaky. So how is this game making the list so high? Well, really, it's the atmosphere, it's the story, it's the characters, the graphics, the soundtrack. Everything is amazing. I mean, the gameplay, the puzzles you solve are great as well. And, like, it's not a hard game at all. You can sneak around pretty easily. The game is not there to be difficult. You know, I think I played it on the hardest difficulty, and it wasn't that hard, you know? I guess you could say it's kind of a story game, although it's not, like, a Telltale game, not at all. You don't really have choices to do. You follow this story. It's a single-player game, you know? But at the end of the day, it is kind of like, I think it's like 10 hours long or something, right? So it's not like a huge game by any stretch of the imagination, but there is a lot of stuff in here, a lot of story to tell, and if you're into that kind of game, I think you can really enjoy it. Now, I don't want to talk too much about it because I'll end up spoiling shit. I don't want to do that because if you're gonna play this game, you need to come in fresh and not be spoiled, but it's definitely worth picking up, especially on sale. If you see it during this holiday season, you should definitely pick it up. It's one of the best games of this generation. For sure, if you enjoy single-player games with a great story, this is it. Now on the number 2 spot, we have Days Gone, and yeah, I'm kind of surprised, because a lot of people seem to not like this game. I fucking loved it. Like, I don't know, yes, it has issues, it has a little bit of frame rate issues and stuff like that, but really? Is that what we base games off now? Like, FPS drops? It's like, oh man, the game is lagging a little bit, it's terrible. Like, dude, there is so much content in here, I don't even care about the frame drops, it's so much fun. Now, the only thing I can say about Days Gone is, if you picked it up, and you've only played a few hours, and you got bored and you stopped playing, I understand why. The beginning is very, very long, and you're very underpowered, and there's a lot of cutscenes to go through, a lot of introductions shit. It doesn't let you go around and do the open world shit for a while, you know. But if you gave up on it, go back and play it. Like, I'm telling you, man. And even if you buy it right now and you never played it before, and you're like, ah, this is kind of trash after 2 hours, keep playing, just keep playing, because the more you play this game, the better it gets. Trust me. You level up your skills, you get better weapons, basically you own the fucking world after a while. You can destroy hordes really, really easily, and it's a lot of fun to do so. There's definitely, like, you know, a learning curve to it, I would say. Well, not really a learning curve, it's more like grindy, right? You need to level up your shit to have fun, which I guess is kind of bad, but in the end, it has like 60 hours of gameplay if you complete everything, which is 100%. About 40 hours if you play the main story, do a couple side quests, you know. But I completed 100% of this game, and I can tell you, it's a great one. You know, if you like open world single player games, it's definitely up there. It has a great zombie story, you know. If you like zombies a lot like I do, this is definitely a great game for this. Definitely some Walking Dead vibes in here, you know, basically Daryl Dixon, but it's not. You know what I mean? Yeah, great fucking game. Like, it's not perfect, but it's definitely one of the best games this generation now, and I would definitely recommend it. Now, on the number 1 spot is Call of Duty Black Ops 3. And yeah, are you really surprised? If you know me at all, you probably saw this coming a long way. Black Ops 3 is probably my most played game this whole generation. And again, mostly for the zombies. I couldn't care about multiplayer or campaign. I'm here for the zombies. And Black Ops 3 delivered. You know, it has so much content. We have 14 zombies maps, and the way that it feels like the old CODs, the zombies, but at the same time it's new. It was like the perfect mix. They didn't change too much to where it's a completely different game like Black Ops 4 did, but they did not change enough to where it felt the same. You know, it was a new experience, but at the same time, it felt familiar. And that's where Black Ops 3 succeeds, is that it makes you nostalgic, but at the same time, it's a completely new game. And it has different playstyles for everybody. You like the maps with the main quests that you have to do a bunch of shit and you feel cool because you know how to do stuff. You can play Shadows of Evil. You like just surviving and chilling and camping in a corner with your friends. You can play the Giant. You know, and especially with Zombie Chronicles that added 8 remastered maps, I think is definitely what made this game so good. Because I remember when it came out, I was literally just saying, dude, I wish we had the same systems from BO3 in the older maps. And they did it. They listened to my prayers because they were like, hey boy, what did you say? You want to play Black Ops 1 with these? Alright, let's go. The level up system was amazing. Finally, we have a level up system in zombies. You're rewarded for playing. It didn't feel like the side game mode in this game. It felt like the main one. You know, it had so much care and passion put into it. Every update would add something to zombies. It felt like that was their baby, you know? Zombies was the main thing. And that's what should be. You know, I always said it, and a lot of people are saying it. They should just release a COD zombie game with nothing else. I don't care for campaign. I don't care for multiplayer. Just zombies. And just put all your development team on the zombies, you know? And make a zombie game. That's what they should do, but Black Ops 3 is probably the closest thing we're ever gonna get for that, because it has 14 maps. I mean, what else can you ask, you know? But yeah, between the new experiences that are pretty fun and the old ones that are remastered, I mean, it's perfect. There's nothing wrong with BO3. I know some people don't like it because they say it's too complicated. Well, go back and play Kino then. There's just so many different playstyles for so many different players that you can't go wrong with this. If you like zombies, even if you don't like some of the maps, you're gonna like some of them. You know, there's so many stuff in here. You could customize your weapons, the whole goggle gun system. I mean, it's not perfect, but it does spice up things a little bit sometimes. I don't know, man. Black Ops 3 was just the peak of gaming for me in this generation. And it's a game that not only I still go back and play, but I will go back and play for generations to come. You know, in 20 years, I might go back and play BO3, because at the end of the day, I'd rather do that than go back to BO1 and play Kino. I'd rather play BO3 Kino, because of the updated graphics and the updated gameplay. And you have to understand that Call of Duty Zombies is one of my favorite game modes, and it's basically always been and always will be. And for me, Black Ops 3 is the ultimate zombies experience. There's just everything for everyone in here. And so, yeah, in years from now, I'll go back and still play this game. But yeah, these are the top 10 games I've enjoyed the most in this generation of gaming. But I'm curious to know, what is your top 10 games? Make sure to let me know down in comments. But anyways, I just want to say real quick that this video was supposed to come out before 2020, but I didn't have time to finish it in time, so this is me after editing it. I'm just want to say I'm sorry about the delay, but yeah, I have other videos planned that are going to be coming out soon as well, so keep an eye out for that. But with all of that said, I hope you all enjoyed the video. If you did, leaving a like is always appreciated, and I hope you all the best for 2020. I will see you next time.